Today, people of God, we've got a very amazing testimony of a family which went into perpetual cycles of problem after problem after problem after problem. We all know that when you get married, you want to start a family. And though we know family is father and mother, in our cultural definition, the family is completed by having children.
Yes, true.
If there are no children, of course you're a complete family, but you still feel there is something missing. And this is what was happening to this couple. But we thank God for the hand of our father and our mother, which touched this family.
Yes.
And today they are celebrating.
Yes.
So people of God, allow us to call forward Mrs. Polite Maganda. Let's just give her a round of applause as she comes forward to tell her amazing testimony. Let's continue applauding. Let's continue applauding. Thank you, Mama, for allowing us to share your testimony. We know you've got a very, very powerful testimony. You were praying and yearning for something, but we thank God today that we are celebrating. You had tears, you were crying, but today you are smiling. So we welcome you today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Baba.
You can tell us briefly when you got married and what was happening until you came to the man of God. Maybe just tell us when you got married and what happened in between as a start.
Indakaroorwa mugore ra 2024 June. Zvakaitika ndezvekuti kutanga mugore iroro takaedza kuita mwana asi zvairamba.
All right, ndipo kubata ipapo.
I got married in the year 2022 on the 4th of June. 2020 on the 4th of June. And ever since then we were trying to have a baby and it could not happen.
What was happening? Why couldn't you have the baby since 2020, June 2020, until you came to the man of God? What was happening?
Pandaenda kunana zviremba vamwe vaiti ndine hormonal imbalances. Vamwe vaingoti hanzi zvichaita zvinowanika. Asi ndakamboedza kumirira asi zvairamba.
When I went to the doctor, some said I had hormonal imbalances, and I also went elsewhere. They spoke about different things, and I could try, but in vain.
Were you getting pregnant, or it was just failing to happen?
Pamuviri paibata, paibva ne 2 months kana 3 months.
I could actually conceive for 2-3 months.
So you are saying that you were having recurrent miscarriages? How many times did you miscarry?
5 times.
Zokorodzai, you can come again.
5 times.
So you miscarried 5 times. So from July or June 2020 until you came to the man of God, you carried 5 times.
Yes.
And you lost the pregnancy 5 times.
Yes.
Wow, that's
something, doctor.
That's something else, yeah.
Just in 2 years, someone has got 5 disappointments that you believe that it's happening, and then soon after you lose.
Within 2 months.
And then your hope is rekindled again, and then you lose again. And I can imagine what was actually happening in your mind and what was going on in your mind. Mama chi chaiti kamfungwa dzenyu maifunga sei. I think around that time pazvaitika kwamuri chicha maifunga.
What was going through your mind?
Zvandaifunga inini ndaifunga zvimwe handichatozvara. Ndanda kutogara ndichichema nguva zhinji nditi zvimwe handizvari.
I had given up and I thought I would never conceive and have a baby.
All right, let's come back a little bit. So 5 times you feel pregnant, you tested yourself, ka5, yaitoita positive.
Hongu, ndichiti pamwe pacho ndaitoenda kuchipatara.
Voto confirm. Then bomba papa.
I would go for tests all those 5 times and it would be confirmed and then I would miscarry.
We understand you had tests done, and we've got, for the sake of time, we're just going to show one of the scans which was performed on you when you had one of these miscarriages. Media team, if you are ready, you can show us the slide which is showing the scan. So this is December 2021, 18 December. So they are querying an incomplete miscarriage. So they write about so many things there. And then at the end of the statement, there's a comment, findings are suggestive of incomplete miscarriage. And we know what this means. It means that the baby is no longer viable. Parts of the pregnancy have come out. There are certain parts which still remain within the womb or the uterus. And the doctors need to clean the womb. I'm sure that's what they did. Vakageza chibereko.
Vakageza.
Then after that, you carried and miscarried again.
Hongu.
Wow. That's
She
something
continued to
else.
miscarry even though the womb was being cleansed.
Okay. And then you carried again for the 6th time. When was this now? When you carried for the 6th time?
Muna November last year.
It was November last year when you carried again for the 6th time. What happened when you carried the 6th time?
Pandakatakura imwe. Kupera kwake November ndakabva ndatanga futi kubleed.
You started bleeding again. And you knew that that usual thing has come back again.
Yes.
So what happened to you? What did you decide to do?
Pandakatanga kubleeda ndakaudzawo hama yangu kuti ndo zvaakuitika. Hama yangu ikanditi aiwa handei kuchechi.
When I carried again for the 6th time, I began to bleed and I told my relative and my relative said to me, we need to go to church.
Maybe kuti tinyatsonzwisisa for the sake of understanding. Which church was this relative talking about?
Kunoku ku-UFIC.
She was talking about this church, UFIC.
Was there any particular explanation why they said let's go to UFIC? Pane rechikonzero chakati vati hande ku-UFIC.
Was there any
Prophet
reason?
Makandiwa na Mama Ruth Makandiwa.
Was there any reason why she encouraged that you come to UFIC?
Ndakaunzi handei kuchechi nokuti vakanga vakutya futi kuti zvichaitika futi zvakare zvakamboitika. Saka vakati handei Mwari wemuprofita anozvigona.
She just said we need to go to church in case it happens again. So if we go to the UFIC church, the God of the prophet is able to fix this problem.
So kuroorwa kwese kumainge makambotsika here panzvimbo panapa.
Kubva pandakaroorwa anombobvira ndakatsika pano.
So the day that your relative brought you here was the first time to come to this place.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So this is now December 2022.
Yes.
Okay. Media team, you've got a clip of what transpired on the day. So if you are ready, you can play us the clip so that we can see what happened when this lady was brought to the house of God.
This lady, man of God, have got a very sad story. She is 26 years old, and now she is in her 6th pregnancy, which is 2 months. She has had 5 miscarriages, And as we speak now, she is bleeding. She is about to lose the 6th pregnancy. She needs your help, man of God.
Just look at that. Just being in the presence of the man of God. Keep watching your screens.
No more losses. Be productive. Be healed. Child of God, you shall not miscarry. In Jesus' name. Yes.
Man of God, this lady, she's been suffering from chest
You're free.
pain.
You're free.
And also
You're
generalized
free. We want to
body-
hear
body
that
weakness.
testimony. It's coming.
So she is about to have her 6th miscarriage. She encounters the man of God. The encounter doesn't last even for more than a minute. And then the man of God says, you shall not miscarry. You shall not lose this baby.
And he also went on to say, no more losses on you.
Yes.
You know, what baffles me is our Father's word, the weight of his word, that when he just speaks and declares, regardless of the complication that was being said that she had, the complication did not have weight which is above what was declared by the man of God in this place. Because you notice what starts to happen soon after the ministration from the man of God. If you allow me to ask you this question, Mama, what then happened after you were ministered to by the man of God?
Pandakanamatirwa nemuprofita
When the
Nda-
prophet
ndai-
prayed for me,
ndaibleeda ndakabva
bleeding.
ndamira kubleed
bleeding
musana wangu wa-
stopped immediately.
Wait,
Sorry, so was there any pain?
pain yandainzwa yakabva yastop.
So,
The pain that I had stopped
so
immediately.
previously you were in pain and you were bleeding.
Yes, that was the reason ndakanzi ndiuye ndinamatirwe.
Okay. You know why I'm asking this is
Yes.
we know that women, when they are pregnant, they can bleed, they can spot. Okay? It can happen. And it's just something which is innocent. Okay? But the moment you have bleeding, which is now associated with pain, pain, it means the womb is now contracting.
Okay.
It's trying to expel something.
Okay.
Okay? So pain is now a sign. Okay, there are different stages of miscarriage. There is what we call threatened miscarriage. Threatened miscarriage might be bleeding, but the bleeding has increased. So initially I said there is spotting. Okay? And then the bleeding can start to increase in quantity. This is now threatening. And then when you now have pain, we now call it inevitable miscarriage or inevitable abortion. So the womb is now in the process of expelling something. Whatever is inside is now a foreign body. It's now like regarded as a nuisance, and it has to come out. So the fact that she was bleeding and she was in pain, those two things are telling the story that at that time she now had inevitable abortion, or she was now in the process of aborting.
And is this condition reversible? Like this process, from your knowledge as a medical practitioner, is it reversible when the body has started rejecting and it's now repelling the child out of the womb?
We know that threatened abortion, yes, you can do something. But if it's now inevitable, the word itself tells the story, inevitable. You can't stop it. The process has already begun. the baby is no longer attached to the mother. So the baby is now on their way out.
So I'm trying to understand that in this kind of a position, does bleeding just stop? Does pain just go? Is there something that just happens that instant, that a word is declared, and soon after the word is declared, and then pain stop, and then what then happens is restoration of that? Does that happen medically?
It's only a miracle, man of God. It only takes a miracle for that to happen.
So
and you see, when the man of God was praying for her, it's like there's a moment when he takes something away from her.
Like he rubs the palm.
He rubs like he's taking something away.
Uh-huh.
Maybe you can just play the clip as we are talking. He rubs the hand like he's taking something away. And then the moment he does that, he uses her hand as a point of contact to touch her womb. We might speculate what was being taken away. We don't know. But if our Father knows the procedure, what was happening. And she starts to jerk her body. And as a medical person, you know that any movement, a lady who has threatened miscarriage, not inevitable, just threatening, you tell her not to do any hard work. You tell her, go and rest at home. Don't even entertain your husband. I know you know what I mean. Go and rest completely. Don't do anything else. But this woman, when she's touched, she starts jerking, and you are thinking, now this baby is about to come out. But just at that instant, that's when the pain stops. That's when the bleeding stops. It's just amazing. It's beyond any reasonable thinking, because you'd think that finally this miscarriage is now going to happen, and perhaps she will carry the other baby and she won't lose this other baby. Perhaps in my mind, that's what I was now thinking, that no, this pregnancy is lost. I think let's talk about the next pregnancy, that she will carry that one. Because this one, it was inevitable, the baby is separated, no connection, you can't reattach, you can't do anything about it. Let's talk about the next pregnancy.
You see, what's baffling is the aspect of the words that you are actually using, that it's now time to prepare for something else. It's no longer a time of saying now we are restituting what we have and we do something, but it's now inevitable that this child is already lost, this pregnancy is already lost. But then after prayer from the men of God, you see that whatever the notion that was supposed to move, the play out that was supposed to go out, it's actually going against that.
Imagine.
It's against her losing. It's now
Imagine.
her receiving, her gaining. And it draws me to a place of understanding that even if you are in this place and you have got something that you feel you're about to lose, you have lost your health, you have lost things, and that you have gotten to a place of no return. It's just being in this place that makes you to receive that which you thought you are about to lose.
Precisely.
And you come and look at it. This was one of the last services of the year.
Yes.
And to her, I believe she was thinking that this year definitely there's not going to be a miracle. But in the last days of the year,
Yes.
she just had to meet the men of God, and she just had to have her baby in the last days. And you know that we are nearing the end of the year.
Exactly, yeah.
And someone in there is actually thinking that maybe this year is done.
Maybe next year is my year.
Maybe next year is my year. But our Father is talking about the Lord's visitation.
Yes.
This is the season where
Indeed,
you are
yes.
being visited
Yes.
right at the edge, right at the end of the year. Maybe if we go down even to what our Father was teaching a few weeks ago, for the past couple of weeks, you were saying that when the angel came to her and said, you shall have a baby, and I'll come back at that time. Our thought pattern was that the angel is going to come and herald that the child is coming. Therefore, the Lord's visitation has come. But our Father then come and say, the coming of the baby, the coming of the miracle, the receiving of the miracle is the Lord's visitation.
Yes, yes.
And
yes,
that's exactly what happened to her.
yes, yes, yes.
And I would like to also understand, Doctor, when was this baby born? This baby that was threatened to have been terminated.
All right, before we get to that, there's another piece of information which I think is very important. We've got here records for, I think it was early February. Okay. You went to have a scan in February, right, Mama? Where did you go for this scan? That's February this year.
Masvingo.
You went to Masvingo, you saw a doctor.
Oh, yes.
And they did a scan.
Yes.
Okay. Media team, you can show us the scan. I think we've got two copies, two slides about the scan. So this is the scan. We've got the papers. It was done by the gynecologist himself. It's a he, okay? So he's writing there, the date is 3 February 2023. You can see the name Polite Maganda, obstetric scan. Findings, single, live, intrauterine, fetal, positive cardiac activity. So cardiac activity is the heart, okay? The pregnancy at that time was, the estimate, this is plus or minus 7 days. He estimated it at 8 weeks, 2 days. 8 weeks, 2 days. This is the beginning of February. So if you start to count backwards, you'll see that she had carried in November. Okay. Okay? Mm-hmm. And she had an inevitable miscarriage in December. Mm-hmm. And she could have lost this baby. Mm-hmm. In my mind, she lost this baby in December. Mm-hmm. But if you look at the scan, they are saying the pregnancy, the child was carried or conceived in November. So there was somehow a resurrection which happened in between. Why do I say that? Because this scan could have said this pregnancy is 4 weeks or is 6 weeks. If it's something that had happened after the ministration, but the ministration was able to restore this baby, and she maintained her dates and carried from where she had left it. We've got another, I think the actual picture of the scan. If you can show us quickly, media team. This is the actual picture of the scan. Well, it's too, okay. You can see there, they even talk about the EDD. EDD stands for expected date of delivery. So their expected date of delivery is 13 September 2023. So it's all in line with somebody who is conceived at the end of November. Okay? And irrespective of what happened in between, somehow God was able to bridge that gap and restore the baby. And she then continued to carry her baby to term, no abnormalities, nothing. And back to your question, Mama mfundisi wari kubvunza kuti makazobatsirwa rini?
Musi wa 12 September 2023.
So she delivered on the 12th of September, okay? You know, medically we say the pregnancy is 40 weeks, yes. Okay? Uh-huh. I know in our culture we say 9 months, but 40 weeks are just 9 months, okay? But it's a range, okay? So from 36 weeks up to 42 weeks, all that is normal. So 9 months is still fine, but we say the woman is now fully term. That's you there, okay? That's you there posing for a photo. For the first time from the 6 pregnancies, this is the first time to carry to this period, right? You had never carried to this. You can see how proud she looks there, looking at the camera, and she's enjoying her pregnancy. You know, this is a kind of testimony where you celebrate every month or every day that you get to. You say, I used to end at 2 months, but now I'm in the 3rd month, 4th month, 5th month. You celebrate every day of the experience. Oh, that's you again. Wow.
So she had a time frame that she would not actually surpass
Yes.
with her pregnancy.
Yes.
And how many months would you carry, and what was the biggest length? Nguva yakareba makazvitakura.
Ndikatotakura for 3 months yange yatorebesa.
3 months would actually be too long.
So it's boiling down to what you were saying, doctor, that even her going to the 4th month was a testimony.
Yes,
Even
indeed.
the 5th month
It
was a
was,
testimony.
yes.
And it was something that was worth celebrating.
Indeed, yes, yes.
I'm trying to understand that it's that touch and those few moments with the men of God, and the womb and the baby are being put together in a relationship, that from this time up to the time that she's supposed to give birth, you're supposed to be in a good relationship.
Yes.
So even the ability to carry was given by that prayer.
Yes.
Life and the ability to carry was
Yes,
given
yes.
in that prayer by
Yes.
our Father, by the God of our Father.
Yes.
And my next question would be, Mama, how was now the process up to the time that you gave birth? Makarwara ere makanzwa say, was there complications?
Any challenges in your pregnancy?
Ndinombobvira ndafesa any challenges.
I never had any
Yaitongovawo
complications.
testimony pachayo kuti pama 3 months pese pandaibva apa ndaitorwara, but apa for 9 months dzese handakanombobvira ndarwara.
These other years when I miscarried, I could be sick, but on the last one of delivery, I never got sick.
Supreme healing, the quality of the anointing, that it's so intelligent to that extent that when the man of God is praying for you, that prayer is an instruction as to even the health of the pregnancy, even to the health of the mother, even to the lasting, which is the time frame of the pregnancy.
Exactly.
Everything is catered for, and it's given its peace by just a touch
Imagine.
from the hand of our Father.
Imagine.
And you see what this God does. I want to ask more questions, allow me. Mama, how was your delivery? How was your delivery?
Ndakadeliver zvakanaka, normal delivery.
At that note, man of God, we've got the card, the record, the birth record. Like we've got the record and the card. Maybe you can just bring us up close. I'm sure you know the cards, these cards for the cards that we are getting these days, they are now color coded. So I'm sure you can already tell the sex of the baby by looking at this card. Okay. Anyway, we know blue is for boys. Yeah, I read somewhere where they were saying pink used to be the color for boys. And then things changed in the 60s. So blue is now for boys. So the card tells the name of the baby, the date of delivery, and even the sex of the baby, that it's a boy. There's another card which I want you to show, which comes after the one that you were showing. And that one is going to show that there's what we call APGA, what we score when the baby is born. So that's the same card. Date of birth, 12 September 2023. APGA score, the first one is 9 out of 10, the second one, 10 out of 10. They almost wrote a 15 out of 10. Okay, 10 out of 10.
Can you explain that to us? What does that mean, APGA score? What does that mean?
So this score, there is a scoring system that we do when a baby is born. We want to see if the baby is a normal baby. Are there any abnormalities? Okay? And also bearing in mind that she had suffered several miscarriages. What we know is early miscarriages are due to abnormalities in the genetic makeup of the baby, chromosomal abnormalities. So she was likely to develop a deformed or an abnormal baby. So this APGA score, it helps you to know. If the baby cries at birth, you look at the color, you look at so many things, and then you score. Okay? Any score which is above 7 out of 10, we are happy with that score. Below 7, 6, 5, 4, we are very worried. But this baby was doing very well. 9 out of 10 at birth. The other score is taken some few minutes after birth. So 10 out of 10 a few minutes later. So you can tell that if it was an abnormality which was causing these miscarriages, somehow by the touch of God through the hand of our Father, everything was restored to normal. And the baby was 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, everything was made perfect. And you can see the baby weight, you can see the head circumference, you can see the length of the baby. We measure all that. Everything is just perfect. The weight is fine, 3 grams, and they even write breastfed within 1 hour of delivery. So this child actually breastfed soon after birth. And all these are signs that this is a normal baby, a healthy baby.
So from all those potential complications to a 10 out of 10 baby, a baby that is able to do things within a short space of time, and a baby is given that form of a speed and health just by the touch of the man of God. So I'm just imagining someone who's listening to me right now, who's thinking that their problem might actually be a point of no return. And what you only need is to be just in this place, where our Father is in this place, where the God of our Father is manifesting in this place. You know, I've come to realize something, Doctor, that being in this place alone, you are a person that is eligible for a miracle.
Yes, that's very true, man of God.
Being able to even watch online, you are as good as someone that is in this place, and you are able to receive a miracle.
Yes, yes.
It takes me down to so many testimonies that has come through where someone said, I've just touched the television set, I've touched my phone, and I received my miracle. Testimonies going back saying that in COVID, I replayed the sermon that our Father once preached on Orel, and I got my healing. You start realizing that the presence of our Father is everywhere within the material that He has already given.
Indeed, man of God.
And just being in a place where He ministers, I can imagine what you can receive, people of God. And remember, He said something a week or so ago. He said, we are getting into a season where something is just being spoken, something is just being declared. And as it is being declared, you are receiving it and you are going with it. I can't stop being amazed on a daily basis because I have questions that I start asking myself. What has God done? Why has He hidden Himself in man? So that every time when we see mere men. When we are looking at God Himself walking amongst us in this season. When the answer that we have been asking for, God has already given us that answer. God who is able to resurrect a baby with a possible deformity in the body and give that baby a 10 out of 10. A God that is able to stop a miscarriage, which was now inevitable, and restore it back until the woman carries. And mind you, this woman is carrying and she's not having complications. Up until birth, she gives birth the normal way without complication.
It's amazing.
What do you have to say about this God?
Man of God, this is miraculous. The God of this place is a miracle working God. Against all odds, miracles happen. Anything can happen. Once you come to this place, just expect anything to happen. This God will shock you, I tell you. Man of God, just to keep it up, Mama Ngwana Arikupi. Okay, can you bring the baby so that we can celebrate with the baby?
I'm afraid of holding babies, eh?
Saka mwana anonzani zita rake?
So what's the name of the baby?
Lennon.
Sorry?
Lennon.
Wow. Makorokoto Maiva Lennon. We celebrate with you. This baby was born a month ago. Right?
It's in September,
Yeah,
yes. You can look at that baby, people of God. Look at that miracle, people of God.
Ari kutoita nga atione mazuva akawanda ari panyika zvake.
He's looking like he's actually a very big baby, hey? Isn't God wonderful, people of God? You know what? You might actually be thinking that the year has ended. And you're thinking that the time for your miracle, maybe it's next year. But I want to assure you this, people of God. The time is still there. The time is still there. And even if you are worried, remember that our mother is having an all-night prayer very, very soon. And this all-night prayer is not a night to miss, because I believe the year has not ended as long as the mother is saying, "Come, let us pray." She knows that there's something in store for you that you are just going to receive. So I urge you, people of God, know that this season that we are in the season of the Lord's visitation. And your miracle is imminent, and your miracle is right in this place. Our Father is no ordinary man. Our Father is a spirit. And when he gets into this place and you see him, what you have to know is that you are seeing your deliverance. You are seeing your miracle. You are seeing your destiny. You are seeing your business. It doesn't matter what's the magnitude of the problem. What you just need to do is to know that you are in the right place, doctor.
Indeed, man of God, what more can we say but to give glory to this God who does such wonderful miracles? People of God, let's celebrate what God is doing in this place.